Hey guys, just wanted to do a quick upload for you guys. This is my cat Cincy. I did introduce him in the last video, but I told you guys I'd go into a little bit more detail about him being a champion show cat. And so just wanted to kind of talk about that and kind of, I did some of my own research and I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about that. It's actually quite interesting. But first, just wanted to give kind of a more in-depth introduction to my guy here. So his name is Cincy. That's what I call him. I got him when he was 2.5 years old, trying to keep him up on his cat tree. I got him when he was 2.5 years old, when I was a senior in college. He actually is one of my most expensive purchases to date. I purchased him neutered for $2,000. And I mean, to be honest, I got all of my money's worth. Super friendly, super outgoing. Never had any issues with him. Very easy to handle. Likes being held. I think just him having a history as a show cat. He really got used to traveling, being around strangers, being around new people. But before he came to me, he had basically a whole nother life. So before he came to me, his name was actually, and this is his certificate of individual registration. So he is registered for the CFA, or the Cat Fancier Association. And so his original name was Koppiekatz Santino of Akerrs. And so Akerrs is where I got him from, is Akerrs Bengals. Can't recommend highly enough to them if you want to go check him out on Facebook. So you can see, has his birthday here. He's born in 2019. You can see his father was and his mother. And you can see like his breeder and everything. And so he's got all the official documents and everything. And then I even have the paperwork to go all the way back through his entire lineage. So you can see the two parents that we just saw here, and then you go all the way back, which is crazy because it's like, I mean, there's a ton of cats walking around the street and you don't know where they came from, and you know exactly where Cincy or Santino came from. This stuff is where it gets a little bit complicated, so bear with me here. So he actually, in the 2020-21 season, he actually won Best Bengal Kitten. So in the CFA, the Cat Fanciers Association, a kitten is described as basically, under 8 months. So before he was 8 months old, he won this award. And then from there, when he was a little bit older, he became what's called he competed in the championship class. And so the championship class is basically the showing competition for unaltered, or they can still breed pedigreed cats. So pedigree having official documentation, everything. Pedigreed cats over 8 months old. So to become a champion, you have to win 6 blue ribbons that basically represent best in class. So best in that championship class, and he has to have won best in class and voted that way by 6 judges, I believe. It was really hard to find, but that's how I understood it. And then to become a grand champion, he has to become a champion, which he already was, and then he needs to go from there, continue to compete, and earn 200 points. Now, I don't know. I tried to look up how the points work and all that, but it was a lot. But he needs to win 200 or earn 200 points after becoming a champion towards becoming a grand champion. And so thought that was really interesting that you can see here regional winner. So a regional winner is basically being in the top 25 of all the cats in the region. And I believe he won, it was like the Great Lakes region. So I thought that was pretty interesting stuff. But he's just my pet cat, but it's crazy to see that like he had a whole life, and he's bred numerous kittens, and you can literally Google it. I just thought that was pretty cool. He's pretty smart. He's pretty laid back. He's my guy. Super responsive and friendly. He was a terror when I first got him. He was an adult, but he lived in like this cattery which is like a when you breed cats on the scale that Akerrs did. He had his own like indoor outdoor enclosure with a cat wheel, and basically it's a catio or something like that just for him. He had his own basically like little condo or apartment just for him. And so when I moved him, and now he doesn't have all the cat toys and all the all the stuff that he's used to, and he moved to my dorm, he was not happy. He tried to escape, and he actually jumped out my window 2 weeks after I got him, and campus safety had to come and get him off the roof, and it was just this whole big thing. He's very vocal. Not really right now, just because he knows I'm messing with him, but extremely vocal. He definitely lets you know he's there, or he wants it when he wants attention. Never had any issues with him. I mean, he's healthy. Stays in good shape. I really love, and I'll put him back on here. Thing that I really love about him is these like really complete rosettes, right? So these spots here, a lot of Bengals just have like, solid spots where this whole spot would just be black, or, something like that. But he has these full rosettes, and it kind of makes him look more like a leopard than say like a cheetah. Another thing that I like about him, but according to the breeder, Akerrs, the thing that kind of got him docked points in his competitions was how his spots or his rosettes transition into like stripes, right? And so apparently the breed standard, or what's more desirable, is if these spots continue all the way down the leg, which I kind of like it. It looks like almost like a tiger. I could tell he's getting annoyed with me bothering him. Another thing that I really like about him is, I think a decent amount of cats have it, but I think on him it looks cool, is he has like this really white chin, which kind of looks like I really think he looks most like a jaguar, more than like a leopard or a cheetah or anything, which is really cool. His tail, if you know anything about like cat behavior, his tail is always up, which means he's happy, calm, confident, curious, which is really good. I mean, he's never had any issues. I've moved with him 3 or 4 times now, and he always adjusts well. Really great cat. I mean, I couldn't have asked more out of an animal that I didn't raise and came to me from a whole nother life. Like, he was used to living by himself. The only time that he really was around other cats or anything like that was when he was breeding. I know that he was studded a ton. When the lady's name was Sammy, when she had him, she was using him a lot as a breeder. The reason she kind of, retired him was because he was kind of rough on the females. And I guess he injured or like tore one of the female's ears or something like that. And so, it was just kind of a liability situation. But, with him, with me and my dogs and everything, he's not aggressive, not rough or anything like that. He is pretty big. So you could see from the top, he's, you can see he's still has a good shape, and he's 15 pounds, and he's been 15 pounds, consistently the whole time I've had him. And so, I mean, he's really great, man. I love Bengals. I really was not a cat guy at all when I got him. I'd watch cats for neighbors and stuff like that. But when I saw the Bengals, this specific breed, I was struck in. And then, it's crazy how I found him, because I was looking at the breeder's website, and I found him, and I was actually looking for his kittens. And I was like, okay, because I'm not going to get him. That's her cat. And then she, I got on the waiting list and all that, and she hit me up and she said, there's going to be some kittens available, and she kind of gave me the price, and the kittens were actually more expensive than getting a retired stud or a breeder show cat. And so she was like, I thought you were interested in one of the kittens. I was like, I actually was interested in Santino. And she was like, well, actually, I'm retiring him. And so me and her talked it out, and she ended up getting him. To get him, he had to be neutered, because she wasn't going to let a cat like this go off to somebody else and be shown and bred, you know. So, you know, had him neutered, and then, you know, now he's just my pet cat, lives in my apartment with me, and, you know, it's just part of the gang. So yeah, guys, I really appreciate you guys. I hope this was interesting, and I hope, you know, you learned a little bit about my crew. And so, yeah, guys, stay tuned to the next time.